Welcome back to Slingshot Engage. Today, we're not going to be shooting a gun. We're going to be talking about a wooden wire spool project that I saw on Pinterest or somewhere that I just had to have. They call it a shooting bench, but so far I've just drank coffee at it. It was difficult. It was a lot of sanding, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. So if you go down this rabbit hole, hopefully this will help you and you can build a better one than I did. So here we go. First of all, it is a 5-foot wire spool. It weighs 350 pounds. It's heavy and it's very hard to maneuver. So get a neighbor or a friend to help you. All right, the first thing you want to do when you get your wire spool, I had a 4-foot one, but due to the bases of the seats, yes, those are out of 32 Ford. It's a banjo rear end. The 4-foot with the bigger inner center didn't allow for enough space on the bottom to really get a decent sized seat in there. So if you get a 5-foot, try to find one with a smaller diameter inner spool. This worked, but I wish I would have waited or found something different. I had the 4-foot one and it had a little smaller diameter, but those weren't working with it. So went with the 5-foot. And the first thing you want to do is, there are nails and staples. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's got to be hundreds of these things in here. So get yourself a decent sized punch and wear gloves and go through and punch down every staple. And I mean every staple. And this took a good bit of time. But I was like, I don't want to eat up my belts on the belt sander, so all right. Next, I didn't cut anything yet, by the way. I was just nailing down staples deeper. That's all I was doing. 40 grit belts. I went through 9 of these, and it took me approximately 5 hours to get it to the point where I thought it was, okay. And I didn't even go back over it with 80, since it was going to be outside. Even though I did buy a cover for it off Amazon for $35, which it seems to work okay. It doesn't go down to the deck all the way, but hopefully it'll protect it from the elements. But yeah, 9 of these I went through. And don't forget to wear your mask, because I did forget to do that in the beginning, and that was a terrible mistake. What kind of stain did I use? Well, I went with 2 coats just on the top and on the top of the seats. The rest of it is coated in 1 coat of this Valspar 4-year guarantee. Well, I've used this on my deck before, and I can tell you, 4 years, I don't think so. At least not with a Lowe's wood anyway. So it's Canyon Brown, 2 coats on the top pieces, 1 coat on everything else. And I think it looks pretty good. So, all right. I wanted it lifted off the ground, so I got some of the, I think they're 1.5 or 2-inch diameter rubber feet that you would use on like an air compressor or something like that. And I put 8 of those on the bottom, and it has a little sponginess to it, but it elevates it off the deck, keeps it from wicking water. That's what I wanted. All right, now cutting these out. If you have a smaller inner diameter spool, you're going to get a little more seat room. 5'11", 190, and I fit. Is it comfortable? Not really for long periods. Of course, I mean, it's hard as a rock, so you could probably cover it with a little cushion if you wanted. But does it look good? Yeah, I think it looks good. If you're going to run your circular saw through here, I suggest a worm drive or a brand new blade. And if you have a blade and it's brand new, kiss that blade goodbye, because you are not missing all the nails in this thing. There was, as you can see here, right through it. And I tried off centering it a little bit, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go right through the nail because I want it to be square, of course. So the paint. All right. Now, it's called Hammer Matte Black from Rust-Oleum. It looks more like pewter. Not as dark as I wanted. Sprayed the axles with it. Oh, and with the axles, they had to be cut down. About 2 inches off the axles, re-welded, and then spacers put in here so the shaft didn't poke you in the butt. 2-inch lags on the bottom, 10 on each side. We got 3.5-inch carriage bolts up here. They're all 3/8, 4 on each side. For these, all they did was take a hole saw, cut out a little piece of cardboard. It fit right over. Psh, psh, psh. Done. Sprayed in here. If you'd like to throw an umbrella in there, I suggest an insert or it's going to flop around a bit. So, and here's the Rust-Oleum. Matte, hammered, and black. Well, more like dark pewter. So, the big question is, how good does it work as a shooting bench? Well, let's find out. And no, I'm not going to shoot this gun in the neighborhood. I'll have the law dogs here probably. So, let me go over there and take a seat, and I'll give you my honest opinion of how it feels as a shooting bench. Oh, and the corners too, you might want to round those off a little more than I did. I don't think I rounded them off enough because your shorts or dress or whatever kind of gets caught in the corner. So you might either want to cut and round or just round them off more. So, all right. All right, the first problem I'm having is you have to put the gun pretty much all the way forward on the bench, which I don't love that. It's nice because left-handed or right-handed people can use this, you know? So I wish this inner part was cut out a little more. I'm having a hard time. I guess I could just, you know, move the gun a little bit. That feels pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad. So far I've just drank coffee at this thing and watched Slingshot frolic in the backyard. But yeah, the seats, if you could get an inner spool that is smaller, get yourself a little bigger seat, that would probably be better. Right now my leg is kind of pressed up against the inner spool and it's not super comfortable. But, you know, if you and the missus want to come out here and have breakfast, it works. And you can sit either way. And you can talk about today's events. Yeah, definitely something I would change would be the way of the seats though. They're comfortable to sit on, they're just not wide enough on like my outer left butt cheek, you know? You kind of feel like you're gonna fall off a little bit. So yeah, you can find yourself a smaller inner spool. I think that would be beneficial. The only thing I noticed about when I was mounting these is you might want to put some kind of bracing underneath. These are fine, but if you make them bigger, even though they are, you know, doubled up crossways, you might have to put some kind of metal strap down here or something like that to kind of give you more stability. But I think it turned out pretty good. And, you know, I just, you know, happened to be on the internet one day and saw this, and I was on Reddit, and the guy said he used, I think, axles out of a 34, but they look, I mean, I think they're all the same from that era. So I didn't want to have to cut them down, but I really didn't have a choice because this was too high and your legs would barely fit in there. So yeah, this is the wooden wire spool project / shooting bench / coffee breakfast drinking table. So yeah, thanks for watching. I got about with the cost of the axles, they were $250, and the spool itself, I got about $450 to $500 in it, and probably about 12 to 14 hours. So yeah, if you're looking to make one of these and you have any additional questions, reach out and let me know. I would just make sure you elevate it off the ground, because this is, from my understanding, it's not pressure treated pine. So it will wick water, and you don't want that, because you know you got a lot of time, money in this thing, you don't want it destroyed. So, and the cover I got off Amazon looks like this. Doesn't match anything in my house, but you know, I just really wanted to protect the table from the elements. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Slingshot, engage.